Bitcoin's market sentiment has been the lowest it has ever been for the past 3 months. It went from people being greedy, believing we were already in a new bull run, to a fear state where there's no more liquidity or people trading Bitcoin daily. If there are no buyers and something triggers more panic in the market, a massive sell-off, like the one we saw 2 days ago, drags everyone down. Right now, the Fear and Greed Index is at 37, showing that Bitcoin may still go way lower than it already is, maybe even going to under 10,000 like Gareth has been saying for months. But if this looks like a scary scenario for Bitcoin, opportunities will be around the corner for those who believe in long-term crypto. Gareth will now explain what's happening and how he's buying some crypto now for some swing trades.
Overall, Bitcoin is going to be fine. Like, to me, I'm just using it as a buying opportunity. As it comes lower, I'll just dollar cost average. So I think that's important to say first and foremost, is that this isn't the end of Bitcoin. In fact, the more people that say it is, the more bullish I'll become. Look at when we were at 31,000. There were so many bulls. I was made fun of endlessly for saying we weren't going to break out there. And look at what happened, because the crowd was on the wrong side. Now, the key here is this, is that the only scenario I see Bitcoin getting down that low, 9 to 10,000, would be as if the NASDAQ and the S&P sell off back to October 2022 lows or lower. Aside from that, I don't actually see Bitcoin getting down there. So this was the level, and you know, being on spaces with you, I've talked about this with Scott and you and so forth. We knew that this upsloping trend line from down here was an epically big trend line, right? That has now broken. That's problematic. That makes the concern for maybe a retest of the lows a lot higher probability. The next level you're looking at is this low. Now, this low happened to be when that BlackRock ETF spot news hit and the run up we got from that. So this psychologically is going to be a big level for a lot of investors, because a lot of investors bought with the concept that this approval is going to be the catalyst for the next bull run. If we get below that level, that's going to really shoot a lot of people in the foot, and they're going to kind of question that narrative. I still think that the approval is going to come, and I think it's going to be a great scenario for Bitcoin, but that break would be a big one, and that's at 25,000. If we go lower, let's say 25 does break, where's the next stopping point? This low here, which happened to be when Silicon Valley Bank failed, and we had all those banks failing, right? And that created this huge run up in crypto as well, or in Bitcoin. So that's another key level. As you go down, each level that breaks, it basically opens the door like a magnet, pulling the market to the next level. So really, you could see now we're starting to trade down on Bitcoin here. I wouldn't be surprised if we touched the 25K level, probably within maybe even this weekend. Now, I think some exchanges you saw a bigger flush where it almost hit it already. I'm on Bitstamp right here. It didn't get that to that point per the chart, but I think that probably will get tested. And then again, if you're a bull, you need that 25 to hold, because if it doesn't, it opens the door to 20,000.
Also, even the Bitcoin dominance chart went lower, which was unexpected. Gareth and Benjamin Cowan have predicted that the altcoins would likely get smashed as their liquidity moved to Bitcoin due to the latest news on the spot ETF and the SEC. Bitcoin was getting all the love this year from new and actual investors selling altcoins to buy it. But did something make it change as well?
Yeah, that was a big, because I think what you ended up happening is there was a lot of stops triggered and a lot of panic that hit Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, it's held up so well in the alt scenario where the alts have been getting crushed. And then, so this was almost like, for a lot of investors that are relatively new, this was almost like a shock. Like, holy cow, Bitcoin's barely moved 1% a day. Now it's down 10%. This scares them. And so it creates this additional selling pressure. So at least in the short term, we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance come down. But I would say that I do expect it to rebound over time and start to gain traction again.
So with all this in mind, Gareth is going long on some crypto. This is what he's buying and his strategy right now.
Well, but please, everyone, understand I'm a swing trader, so I get a 10% bounce. I'm saying thank you very much, and I'm exiting the trade. But I mean, if we just go to Matic, right? So we have Matic coming down here. There's this low here, and then this low here. So I start to nibble a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. All right. So we're getting close to these lows. We're at this low here. We have a lot of support starting to come in here. So for me, it's just, I start a position. Essentially, I put 1.5% of my portfolio in it. If it comes down another 10%, I'll put another 1.5 or so in, and I slowly accumulate, because ultimately there's a lot of fear. and we'll eventually get a snapback, right? Eventually this fear will see a snapback. Once we get that snapback, I'm out, right? So same thing I actually did this with a few different ones. Cardano, same kind of deal. I picked up a little bit on this flush. Same thing with Litecoin. I even added a little Litecoin today, or yesterday, in fact. And you can see Litecoin again, lots of support on Litecoin here.
If you missed Gareth and Ben's interview about the Bitcoin dominance predictions, you should watch it now and know why they believe Bitcoin will be a better bet than most altcoins for the rest of the year, even though this week has been a mess.